Inner City Farms is one of my favorite projects that I've seen so far, mainly because it's a perfect combination of simple, feasible, and impactful. So it's simple in that they just turn front lawns into productive edible gardens. It's feasible because there's tons of soil out there in front of houses that isn't being used. And it's impactful because you can grow a lot of food, as you see here, on a small patch of land. So when you think about how much space there is out there, you can begin to think how much food we can grow in the cities and suburbs.
My name is Camille Dumont, and I'm the head farmer for Inner City Farms. We run an urban agriculture CSA in the city of Vancouver, all within city limits. And we do 50 shares. We've done 50 shares this season, so 50 families a week get a big basket of vegetables. We are a business, we're incorporated, we're trying to actually make a living doing this. I was able to draw a salary for 4 months this summer, which allowed me to be in the gardens full time, and this is our first summer where we've had an actual employee, so we're trying to piece together the financial viability of urban agriculture and farming in the city, so piece by piece we're hoping to get there. Well, we've lifted the sod and transformed these yards into agricultural space, productive gardens. Right now we're just nearing the end of the season. We've got a couple of weeks left in our CSA. And there's some fall plantings that have happened. We're also trying to work with a few restaurants and a few catering companies and stuff that are kind of interested in being either zero waste or carbon neutral or just very local and all that stuff. So we've got a few things on the go for them that we're going to try to get out before the end of the season. Certainly. So mostly what we have are homeowners that donate their space because they're just kind of interested in being part of a sustainability project without really having to add any time into their own lives and their own schedule. They just kind of let us take care of their property and sort of give it over to us. In exchange, they get a CSA membership, so they get vegetables. That's all we can really offer, and that seems to be working out fine. We did think that finding space would be what would hold us back as far as growing enough food to make enough kind of money to even consider supporting ourselves doing this. But it turns out that that wasn't the case at all. A lot of people are really on board and really interested, and the more attention we get and the more people kind of just wander around and see these, and the more kind of the homeowners interact with their own communities and their friends, the more interest we get. So I'd say we're definitely at the point now where we're turning space down, just because we don't have the hours, the labor hours to work it. So I think that most of our CSA members are pretty keen to have a relationship with the person and people that are farming their food, so they like that aspect. The fact that it's all grown in their city, I think, is really appealing. Local food is really, popular right now, and people kind of get the concept of buying local and eating seasonally, and that's kind of, I think, the education of that is certainly in this city is already, we're beyond that. There are lots of benefits of urban farming that aren't just the vegetables. So you're building community, you're dealing with sustainability issues, you're questioning how people interact with their food and with their planet. And all those things you can't really mark down on paper and charge for, but that's actually arguably some of the more valuable parts of urban agriculture. So in regards to reaching the next step, I think that it does depend on the model you're using, and for something such as urban ag, I think that obviously at a policy level, the cities that are involved need to be really pro-urban agriculture. I think that's pretty important. And there's flexibility there. There's ways in which, if you host a farm, for example, maybe you're paying or you're getting a tax rebate, or if you're, there's ways to stimulate urban agriculture through policy that would be interested, I think. There's probably an education component, which I think also, when I say education, I kind of mean marketing too. A lot of this produce is really high quality, and it's really fresh. It's, you can often get it the day it was harvested. And if people are interested in supporting urban agriculture and willing to pay a premium for that produce, then that makes it, considerably more likely to be a viable enterprise. So all this space was just front lawn. It was just grass, right? So what's happening with lawns is that people are a bit fed up in dealing with their lawns, and they're paying for fertilizers and chemicals to put on their lawns, and they're mowing, and they're doing all that stuff. Basically what they're doing is consuming in their front yards, and
when you throw a garden in there, what you do is convert that space from a space of consumption to a space of production. And if you're doing it sustainably and organically and without chemicals, then you're actually really, challenging something that we've all completely normalized, which is, the front lawn. Like, do you use it, and why do you use it, and what are its benefits, and what are its, costs? So people walking by, it's quite high vis, and they see me in the gardens and they stop and chat to me all the time. And what's really cool about it is that it's people from all different demographics. You've got old ladies, a lot of old ladies are really stoked, and then you've got young skateboard dudes that are like just curious, and you've got people from all walks of life, completely like different races, lots of old Asian ladies in Vancouver that are just really excited to see someone growing food. And it's just a really nice part of the job is that it's very social, and people are really responsive, and they're interested, and they're curious, and it's a lot of just we get to meet people that I would never ever meet. It's very disarming to see someone just digging in the dirt, and that's what I do. So they're totally happy to approach me and ask me what's going on and how I'm going to eat all that kale and all that stuff. So a lot of people just try to point out vegetables and identify them, and so we get to talk about different veggies, and it's a lot of fun.